Good evening, hello and welcome to this special broadcast. I'm Anusha Soni. There's hate simmering in the political pot of Telangana. At the heart of the communal tension is perhaps the right to be offended. If a particular person makes an objectionable and offensive remark about a particular religion, the Indian Constitution and the Penal Code has ways and means to curb such speech. But the Constitution does not give you the power to take matters into your own hands. However offended or hurt your sentiments might be, you cannot call for violence. You cannot give a call for beheadings. Your hurt sentiments are not an explanation for the subsequent call to violence. After BJP MLA Rajasingh made objectionable comments about Prophet, the BJP suspended the MLA and police registered an FIR. But the matter has not stopped at that. Various objectionable slogans which have their origins from the radical extremist Islamic organizations in Pakistan. There are calls to violence that have been heard in the last 48 hours. Where would all of this stop? More importantly, are we becoming a society of hurt sentiment, where violence in the name of hurt sentiments is being justified? Isn't it time to do away with this discourse? First up, a special report.
Hyderabad on the boil. Street protests across the city of Nizams on Tuesday and into today. At Shalibanda, at Charminar and the Old City, at Barkas Road and other pockets. First since Monday evening over a BJP MLA's video insulting the Prophet, then over this MLA being granted bail shortly after arrest on Tuesday. The anger comes out in his effigies set ablaze. The Rapid Action Force had to be called in. RAF, State Police and Armed Reserve Forces conducted flag marches. Sections were posted at Hindu-majority areas in the Old City. Standing out amid the mayhem, this. The slogan of hate that began to resound after Nupur Sharma insulted the Prophet and becomes the phrase of radical Islamist rage again. The AIMIM that comes out guns blazing against the BJP distances itself from the slogan itself, though it was allegedly raised by an MIM leader, even as the party vents out at T. Rajasingh insulting the Prophet.
उन पर एक्शन लेना चाहिए, उनको जेल भिजाना चाहिए. जेल में ही वो सही जगह है, बल्कि जेल नहीं बल्कि उनकी पुलिस कस्टडी लेकर उनका वॉइस सैंपल लेकर एफएसएल को भिजाना चाहिए ताकि एक लीगली स्ट्रांग केस उनके खिलाफ बने.
A Congress Neta also jumps in with hate rhetoric, though again his party claims to distance itself.
और राजा सिंह, जो भी तू स्टेटमेंट दिया, वो स्टेटमेंट को तू माफी चाह. और अगर से तू नहीं चाहेगा माफी, हर एक मुसलमान को बोल रहा हूं मैं, राजा सिंह जिधर भी देखा गाड़ी रोक के मारो उसको.
The man at the center of the storm. BJP MLA from Goshamal in Hyderabad, T. Rajasingh, got a hero's welcome on returning home. Bail within hours of arrest was seen as a victory by some, though it fueled anger elsewhere. The BJP has issued him notice on why he shouldn't be expelled from the party. And it steps up demands for action against alleged hate raisers like AIMIM corporator Zafar Khan. A BJP MLA, an insult to the Prophet, and communal tensions fueled for politics, with elections in Telangana due next year as the backdrop. It boils down to that. Who's fueling this vitriol? Who's looking to keep the fire burning for political ends?
Joining us on the broadcast is my colleague Swastika Das. She's been tracking all the developments from the ground, the protests, the counter-protests, the spate of statements that have come in from different leaders. Swastika, first to you. Take us through the various statements that have come in. And one of the key criticism which is coming in as far as Rajasingh's case is concerned is that why was his remand application rejected in the first place? And secondly, are there any FIRs against various leaders, including the leaders of the AIMIM and other political parties who have called for violence?
Very briefly, Anusha, your first question on what kind of political reactions. Well, you heard Asaduddin Owaisi there decrying Raja Singh's comments, and also his party today have written to the Telangana speaker asking him to expel to expel Raja Singh from the Telangana Assembly. Raja Singh is Goshamahal MLA. Reaction from the TRS is that the TRS has also taken a very strong stand against Raja Singh and has in turn attacked the BJP for what they call emboldening these type of leaders to make derogatory comments and to fan communal politics. They say that this kind of politics is not going to work in the state of Telangana. The BJP, interestingly, has decided to take a different stand. It's not going to, it has not thrown its weight behind Raja Singh. In fact, Raja Singh, remember, has been suspended by the party pending inquiry and has been asked to give an explanation to the central leadership by the 2nd of September. Other members of the Telangana Congress do not want this issue to get any kind of focus. They want their full attention only to the imminent Munugodu bypoll and subsequently focus on expanding their footprints into the state of Telangana, preparing for the assembly elections next year. It just boils down to that. The other question...
Yes, Swastika, please go ahead. The second part of the question about the FIRs you're talking about.
Very briefly, Anusha, why Raja Singh was allowed to go on bail? First of all, his remand in itself was rejected. Technically, it's not a bail, as the lawyer, put it out correctly. He said that Raja Singh's remand was rejected because the police here could not file the proper procedure, 41 CRPC, which means that a notice has to be first issued to the person, to the accused. And here in this case, Raja Singh was directly arrested without being given any kind of notice. So that is why his team has called it illegal arrest. And that's the reason why Raja Singh was
Swastika,
given bail.
there are no FIRs against the AIMIM leaders or say a Congress leader like Feroz Khan so far. No legal action on that front.
Nothing on that front, and that's the reason why this has become a political war of words, Anusha.
Thank you, Swastika, for getting us all the details from the ground. Joining us on the broadcast